Hello scholars, welcome to our channel. Today, I'm excited to share with you the 2019 short film Zombies by Congolese-born filmmaker, poet, and artist Baloji. In this powerfully compact format, Baloji extensively employs the symbolism of mirror images to create visual double-entendres, which meditate on the complexity of self-awareness and self-creation within the context of an increasingly superficial and homogeneous digital urban culture. Shot in contemporary Kinshasa, the Zombies narrative draws on aesthetics of a major African metropolis's social and political atmosphere to imagine liberation from an economic system of domination, specifically technological addiction and passivity, and continues a long tradition in African diasporic art of speculative fiction and ecological activism. Before looking into double meanings, let's establish what kinds of mirror images Zombie uses to turn a critical eye towards superficiality in the digital world, specifically the motifs of smartphone selfies and hair wigs. From the beginning, the film is full of youthful, stylish characters in busy street life, but no one is pictured facing or interacting with each other, even when they dance next to each other within the club. Instead, they are making eye contact with their camera phones or their self-image, which we can infer from the high, outstretched angle at which they hold their phones. Notice how the camera moves rapidly to center a single person in the composition of each shot, while showing us at the same time that they are physically next to each other, highlighting the individualized yet identical presence of the phone in each of their hands. In the lyrics, the selfie view on a camera is both a pixelated mirror and a ubiquitous dream in a megabyte image. When the shots cut to dancers without a phone, it is clear that they are hyper-aware of the camera or the audience's gaze being on them, and our perception is that of a phone in selfie view. Already, the idea of an exact mirror image is disturbed, and we must question the relation between form and function, having witnessed the irony of a phone turning into a self-reflective mirror, which is nearly the opposite of an outward-facing communication device. The same phenomenon is true of hair and barber shops, a second motif that introduces the idea of a faulty mirror image. Mirrors are guilty by association with notions of vanity and cosmetics, and they are ever present in the barber shop, where the main cosmetic is hair. Today in Africa, demand for hair is a multi-billion-dollar industry that continues to grow. The biggest human hair importers are in Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And most of the cargo is imported to Africa by air and sea from India and China, where hair is often sourced by collectors riding their bikes through poor rural communities where women sell their hair for extra income. When the woman emerges from the club of techno dancers and discards her wig, she becomes another image of herself. The stark visual contrast we witness is not from the wig prop alone. We can also notice how color is being used in the film. While in the club, her outfit's color is completely obscured, but in the light of day, we see with clarity the fire-hot red that she wears, and also the yellow t-shirt that she quickly changes into. As we follow her to her new destination, we see both by the yellow t-shirt and by her entering a barbershop that she herself is a double to the man who the film began with. Finally, in the dialogue, we hear that her wig makes her fit for TV. Thus, the double image of herself in the extreme cosmetic alterations of a wig is self-creating in a shallow sense, only aspiring towards a ubiquitous beauty standard. Finally, these two motifs are explicitly visually doubles of each other. See how the VR headset helmet parallels the shape of the salon hair steamers. Now, let's get past the clickbait that Baloji shows us to engross us in the world of Kinshasa and explore how the superficiality and beauty standards are complicated and challenged. Selfies and cosmetics are not the only way that mirror images appear in Zombies. Glass mirrors and cameras create the nuanced double meaning of mirrors, that of the reflection of physical images versus reflection as a process of deepened understanding in our minds and imagination. Zombie shows that the latter kind of reflection, unlike the former, is an action that requires movement, energy, and life, complicating the idea of people being zombified and slaves to their phones. Specifically, the zombies in the film are constantly dancing and wearing extremely expressive costumes. Dancing is visually associated with liberation because of the freedom of movement and expression, and also an explicit shot of a man dancing who is wearing wings. The most outstanding zombies in the film don't have faces at all, countering the selfie-obsessed. instead being costumed from head to toe in materials such as condoms, bottle caps, and scrap metal. The camera films their entire bodies instead of just their face, and the composition of each shot reveals that there is often more just out of view, as shown in this shot where the dramatic smoke is actually the exhaust from a motorcycle. Materials also hold lots of symbolic significance, especially in the scene where a young woman states that her nappy hair is beautiful, while an older woman objects, placing a crown on the young woman's head. We see that the crown has phones on it made of malachite, and it is also reminiscent of the Statue of Liberty because of its shape and color. Baloji has stated that he chose malachite because it is one of the very few Congolese minerals that is not extracted for the purpose of making phones and other technologies. We also see in this scene that the camera is explicitly considered a mirror because of the angle at which we view the woman in her chair. Not only are we where the mirror is placed, which we see her dance in front of later, celebrating her own beauty, but the camera has perspective on the double of both an iPhone and an iPad being held up and reflecting against one another. Throughout Zombies, the camera shots will often present images that the lyrics deny, another doubling. The most obvious one being, "You're not dancing," and towards the end of the film, in the political procession on the streets for Papa Bolo, the lyrics pronounce that everyone is in voluntary servitude. But the camera takes an opposite angle of the selfie, turning the trumpeters almost upside down, and Papa Bolo is soon pictured dead and lying in a heap of trash. Baloji provides rich visual metaphors for seeing through the smoke and mirrors and lets its viewers decide for themselves what reflections that they pay attention to. Thank you, and check out the rest of our videos.